What's going on, guys? NoSlack Novak with a new game on the channel. We're going to play a little bit of Plutocracy. Now, if you guys don't know what this game is, the mission, basically, is to become the richest person in the country. This is set in the 1800s. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go in a sandbox. Now, keep in mind, this game is in alpha. There are still some bugs. Not everything works absolutely perfectly, as is the case with games that are in alpha. But so far, it is pretty fun. Let's check out our character. This is who we're going to go with. Randomly generated. He is a straight male. He is married. He is an atheist. And he is a Democrat. Now, these things, apparently you just can't really choose. That's kind of randomly assigned to you, which is perfectly fine. Let's go ahead. One thing that you can edit is the name of the character, at least. We're going to go ahead. We're going to do the classic NoSlack Novak. And we're going to go with, let's see. Let's see what all of our options are. We could start off in the state of California, Georgia, Illinois, New York, Texas, Virginia, and that is it. Now, out of all of those states, I don't really... So I've played the game a few times. I haven't really seen any kind of advantages to starting in one state over the other. However, we're going to start in California just because if this were real life, I would want to live in California out of all those states, just strictly because of the weather. The weather and the beaches. Why not? We're not going to mess with any of this. We are going to be in a small world. We are going to be the small fish. Now, the difficulty with the small fish, it's just basically the easy difficulty. It means that your opponent, who you're going up against, starts off with the same amount of money as you do. And we are going to start from the bottom. So we're both going to start off with $100,000. And we're only going up against one opponent, and the win conditions, we're going to go with wealth, hence becoming the richest person in the country. Now, the other one is influence, which we're not going to mess with too much. And we would like to, like I said, the game takes place in the 1800s. We could have the end date be 1880, 1890, 1900, or infinite. We're just going to go ahead. We're going to set a limit of 1900. Let's go ahead and get started. So there's a few ways to make money in the game. You can purchase stocks in companies, and then obviously the better the company does, the more money you will make. And I'm going to be honest with you, when the game starts, it is kind of a slow grind to get more and more money. You guys will see exactly what I'm talking about here. This is our office. Let me go ahead and shut off all of these tutorials over here. This is our basic office, kind of like our headquarters. A few things that we're going to mess with here, for example, is the skills, which if we go in here, we can kind of advance some of these skills. We'll get into those a little bit later. We can check on our luxuries, which eventually we can own some horses, some boats, houses, rare objects like coins, cars, art, statues, alcohol and tobacco products, trophies, and then weaponry. And really the only thing with these is that you can purchase it for one price and then hopefully sell it for a little bit more at a later date. Now, what we're going to be using the most is the map. And as you guys can see here, we have the United States, the continental United States, and the rest of the world, it's still locked, being developed. Hopefully that does actually become a thing. Now, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to play out with the other states here. However, for now... we have California, we've got Texas, all the other ones over here, and I absolutely love how you can see the state flag in the background. Love it. That looks so awesome to me, especially Texas and California. Anyways, our opponent is over here in Texas. We're over here in California. That being said, let's take a quick look at what we've got to deal with. Now, these are all of the companies that are stationed in California. We would like to invest in a company that maybe isn't so large as of yet, and yet also makes a decent chunk of change. And chunk of change in this game is determined by the dividends. You can see dividends over here. If you hover over the Gray Brothers, their dividends are 45%, meaning whatever money they make, 45% of that money. So let's say they only make $100 a quarter, which this game goes off of quarters. If they only make $100 a quarter, 45 of those dollars go to the shareholders and 55 go back into the company to potentially grow the company. Now, out of those $45 that go to the shareholders, if you own 100% of the company, you get all $45. If you only own 1%, then you're getting something like 45 cents. You get it? I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. So what you want to do is you basically want to get into a company that has a high dividend payout. You want to actually have a larger piece of the pie of the overall profits of the company. Now, another thing that you kind of have to look at is, let's just keep using Gray Brothers here as an example. Kind of want to look at these numbers over here to see how they're doing as a company. They've got an okay market share over here. This is just for the state of California. Well, actually, this is for the entire country. And then the market cap kind of tells you how profitable, how big of a company they are. Their return on investment, which whatever you invest in the company, there's 7.8% back, yada, yada, yada. We're all getting into too many details here. Profit margin slightly went down, but overall 32%. Share price right now is $2.77 a share, which we have $100,000. So we can only purchase whatever $100,000 times $2.77 is, or sorry, divided by, and that'll give us the shares that we could potentially purchase, which we can kind of negotiate for better prices. You'll see that here shortly. And their share price did go up this last quarter, so that just kind of shows you that the company is on the upswing. Now, I have had companies go bankrupt. Let's check out some of these other states. Market cap, all right. 2.5 is the least expensive company to get into in Texas. If we check out Georgia over here, market cap is 4 million, so it just goes up and up. Market cap 1.46. This isn't bad. They've got pretty good dividends too. 75% isn't bad at all. As you can see here, the most dividends out of any state or out of any company in Illinois. Let's just check out New York while we're here. 1.37. They also have pretty good dividends, 75%. These guys overall not doing too bad. 0.34 market share. Let's see, man, the decisions. What do we do? Did we already check out Virginia? 2.18. So I'm thinking maybe Illinois. 1.46. Or let me show you the other way to make money. So if we come down here to the little distinctions and achievements section, we can go to personal achievements. We can go to ratings. And now this lists every single character in the game. As you can see, we've got NoSlack over here. We've got Nicholas Perez, who is our opponent. To be completely honest with you, doesn't matter too much. I don't think we're going to be interacting with Nicholas Perez too much. But we are going to be interacting with a lot of these other folks over here. Now, let's go ahead. Since we're already in California, let's just separate it by California. Here we go. So we're only looking at the players in California. And now I'm going to go to doable ambitions. This means that we can help these guys out. Now, their ambitions here are something that they want to achieve, whether it's selling shares in a company, buying shares in a company, selling their bearskin rug. Yes, that's a thing. Selling maybe a pistol. That's something that we can help these guys with. Now, for example, this one here, it says need a credit. This guy wants to borrow cash. If we click on his ambition, he wants to borrow $55,000 for a period of 3 quarters, and his willingness to pay back, or his ability to pay back, his ability to default on us letting him borrow the $55,000 is 92%. So very, very likely that he will not pay us back. So I'm absolutely not going to deal with that. And then let's see. So like over here, we can go to ambition and we can purchase this thing. I don't understand why it's called a scarecrow, because it's clearly a wolf on a plaque. We can purchase that for $45,000. And then hopefully we could kind of hold on to it for a little while and then sell it for a profit. That is not something I want to do right now. What I think I want to do is I think I want to give out a loan. However, it's going to have to be to somebody that's going to be a lot more likely to pay me back than 92%. Let's see here. This guy, 41%. That's a possibility. I like to stay in the 30s or better. 93% chance of not paying back. Let's see. And this is kind of what I mean by a little bit of a grindy game, where we're going to have to find somebody that we want to work with. 73%, absolutely not. Here we go. Isaac Lee here wants to borrow $43,000 for 4 quarters, and we actually want them to borrow it for a longer period of time because we get more money off of the interest. Now, let me see. The risk of default. given the financial situation and the character's reputation, is 6.16%. So he only has a 6% chance of not paying us back. I'm going to let him borrow as much money as he wants. I'm going to charge him 20%. Now, as you can see here, loyalty to me is 0%. If I were to reduce the terms of the interest, I could get up to 50% loyalty from him. As of right now, I'm not concerned with the loyalty. I just want the most money. So I'm going to bump that up to 20% over the course of the 4 quarters. The $43,000 that I'll let him borrow is going to give me a profit of $34,000. I'm going to get my $43,000 back. On top of that, I'm going to get $34,000. So absolutely. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take that. He's going to give me, he's going to introduce me to this courtesan named Polly Adler, which we'll get into those agents a little bit more later. Let's try to give out just a little bit more money. We still have $56,000. A lot of people are very unlikely to pay you back, so you have to be careful. Don't just hand out your money to whoever. Jack Patterson here wants to borrow $27,000 for 3 quarters with an 11.9% chance of not paying us back. That's actually pretty solid. We'll make a profit of $16,000, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that. We're going to get another agent. This is Goon, Jesse Hume. You can kind of use him to rough some people up. We still have $29,000, so we do have the ability to, you know, potentially buy something else. You know what, as a matter of fact, Caitlin Hayes here, she wants to sell something. Let's see what she wants to sell. She wants to sell a grandfather clock for $35,000. Unfortunately, we cannot afford that. She also wants to sell this candelabra for 11.7, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that. Again, we could purchase it for more money, but I don't want to give her that extra cash. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to buy it just for the 11.7, and I'm not getting any more loyalty, but we're going to have that candelabra for 11.7. Got another different agent. Now here's the thing. Sometimes you can actually sell immediately. Let's check this out. So for example, Samuel Gray here, he wants to purchase the candelabra. Now, as of right now, because not too much time has passed, he's only willing to sell to buy it. We can only sell it for 11.7. So right now it doesn't make sense to buy it and sell it immediately. So we're going to hold on to that. Let's see if there's potentially something else that we could buy. 24,000. No. Let's see. Anybody else want to sell anything? Nothing. When you see the pluses, that means they want to buy. When you see the minuses, that means they want to like get rid of it. They want to minus it out of their collection. Alexander, you got anything for me? There's that bearskin rug I was talking about. Can't afford that at the moment. Let's see. Maybe we can buy some cigars or something. $8,000, almost $9,000 for this sparkling wine. And then, ooh, that is nice. From my experiences, this cognac here, this Dan Jackson cognac, actually returns a lot of money. Unfortunately, I don't have enough money for it. I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to purchase this sparkling wine. I'm going to finish up here. Going to get another agent. And now we can kind of advance the game and see how things play out. Another thing too is you have, okay, these are just letters. I don't like reading those at all. Let's go ahead. We're advancing time. Now, every now and then an auction comes up as well. Actually, an auction just came up. We click on that. Ooh, this auction is selling a watch. The starting price of the auction is going to be $12,600. They think the market price is $22.5, and 5 people are going to be bidding on that. Now, I only have $8,500, so I can't even really get into the auction, so I'm just going to tell them I'm going to think about it, and I'm not going to worry about it ever again. But it is nice, because every now and then, like a house, or maybe a vehicle, or some art, or something like that will come up for auction. You have a chance to get it at a decent price, and then in return, you can sell it for an even better price. Alright, first quarter is over. Things have been done, moves have been made, people are trying to grow their wealth. We went for the route of just kind of handing out loans and stuff like that. So we can see here, I made a little bit of cash. Now I have $20,000 from the interest of the loans. Let's take a quick look. We can go over here to Luxuries. And this is everything I own, right? So I have the candelabra, which right now, the price of the candelabra actually went down. We purchased it for 11.7. We could only sell it for between 6 and 11.2, so we'd lose a little bit of money. And then over here with the sparkling wine, we could sell it for a little bit more. I think I'm going to hold out. We could make a $2,000 profit if we find the right buyer. However, $2,000 on that is not enough. I'm going to hold off just for a little bit longer. $20,000. What I might want to do, I might want to relocate to another state. As you can see, our opponent did so as well. He went from Texas all the way to New York because apparently he found a company up there he'd rather invest in. I'm thinking I want to invest in this Hall Brothers. They're a smaller company. They're actually the smallest company in Illinois. They have 12 workers, 24 workplaces. We'll get into that a little bit more here in a second. They are profitable. They have good dividends. I think I'd like to invest in them. So what I have to do, if I click here and I try to purchase, it won't let me. These are the people that own a stake in the company. It won't let me deal with them because I'm all the way out here in California. So what I have to do, I have to click on my little icon, drag it over here to Illinois, buy a ticket for almost $4,000 just to get there. And it's going to take me 39 days to get there. But you know what? Overall, I think that's going to be the smart move. Just I didn't really see any companies over there in California that I wanted to work with. And we can see my opponent is traveling all the way back to Texas. We should get there May 9th. There it is. We're there. We can now negotiate with someone that already owns shares in Hall Brothers. Let us see who. So here's another thing. Here's one thing that is going to play a big role throughout the game. We have something called influence. We are a brand new player. We start off the game with 50 points of influence. We see here that Adrian Hall has 29.9, Austin Adams has 30.8, Elijah has 0, and that's only because he actually wants to sell these shares to whoever would take them. And then Ethan Bell over here has a 50.3, so we cannot negotiate with him since he has a higher influence than we do. What I think we're going to do, we don't really have the money to purchase anybody's shares like outright. Like we can't purchase all 14% of this gentleman's shares in the company. So we're going to have to just kind of chip away at it. And then also another thing to consider is the economics and diplomacy. If the less stars they have, the easier it's going to be to get a favorable deal. So right off the bat, we're going to work with Austin Adams. He's going to be the easiest to make a deal with. You right click on him, you go to deal. And now we are negotiating the terms of the agreement. I want to purchase as many shares as I possibly can with my $16.8 thousand. And as of right now, there's no special anything. Let's go to round one. So here's our different arguments. These are arguments that we can present to Austin Adams to have him give us either a better deal or maybe charge us a little bit less for the shares. We can go with argument A, which we're going to end up having to pay 3% more on the shares we want to buy, but we have a 1% more likelihood of having the deal be successful. Argument B, we'd be able to purchase the shares for a 4% discount, and it wouldn't hurt or help our negotiations. Argument C here, we'd get a little bit of a discount at 2%. However, it would hurt our chances. Now, out of all these three arguments, argument B seems to be the best. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pick that one, but then let's come over here and take a look at this a little bit. So these are the chances of the deal being done. We have a 50% chance of it succeeding, a 10% chance of it failing, and then if it lands here in the white, that is a 40% result. That just means we're going to go into round 2 of negotiations. So I'm going to present argument B. Let's see where the little meter lands. Oh, it landed and failed, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's such a small chance. Only a 10% chance of failing, and yet it did. So now we can negotiate with someone else, or we can wait 14 days to negotiate with him again. I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to hold off. We're going to try negotiating here with Elijah Gonzalez. Same thing, all his shares. Ooh, and right off the bat, some sort of a negative interaction with him is causing him to immediately go into the deal, wanting to charge us 10% more than what the shares are worth. Now, we can kind of mitigate that a little bit here. We would still end up paying 6% more. That's unfortunate, and it also decreases our chances of being successful, but as of right now, that is the best deal, so let's go ahead and do that. This looks like it's going to either be accepted or finish. Yep. Okay. So round 2. Let's go into round 2, which this isn't bad. This gives us a chance to decrease the purchase price of the shares a little bit more. Hurts our chances of it being approved as well. All right. We're going into round 3. Now this one, regardless of what happens, it's either going to pass or fail. There's no going into a 4th round. Now, because I'm greedy, or just a smart businessman, I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. It's going to decrease the chances of it happening. So really, it's going to make it a 31% chance of success. However, it's going to lower it 1%, meaning we basically pay the original asking price. The only reason I'm going with this one is because these other ones here are ridiculous. I'm not paying 15% more. I'm not paying 6% more. At this point, I wouldn't really be disappointed if the deal fell through. So that's what we're going to go with. And the deal was a success. All right. So we actually ended up saving just a tiny little bit of money on that deal. And we own some shares in the company, in Hall Brothers. Now, let's go over here. So we can see now we have 1% stake in Hall Brothers. We took that 1%, or we purchased that 1% from Elijah. He had 14. He now has 13. Yes. We can look at the management of the company, where we can now since we have that 1% stake, we can propose things like changing the CEO, using an agent, company expansion, which we'll get into all of this more in future episodes, I'm sure. Let's take a look at statistics. Right now, the company is making $76,000 a quarter. Now, out of that $76,000, 75% of that is coming to the shareholders. So basically, 75% of 76,000 would be roughly 60,000. So I would be getting 1% of that $60,000. We can come over here, we can take a look, and our dividends right now would be, let's just hover over that. Dividends right there, $577. So that's what I'm getting from owning 1% stake in the company. All the other money that I have coming in is from those loans that we gave out at the beginning of the game. Guys, those are the basics of Plutocracy. That's about it. I mean, there's still a few more things. There's a few more things I'll cover in future episodes. But as of right now, that's it. Actually, you know what? Let's advance time just a little bit more. I want to see if I can maybe get a little bit more cash and then purchase even more shares in the company before we end the episode. So as of right now, I have 1.6. I have $1,600. I'm looking to get at least 12,000 at the end of this quarter. Let's see if that comes to fruition. I should have right around $13,000 or $14,000. And did everything work out? Yep, everything seems to have went according to plan. People are paying me back like they're supposed to. I've got about the correct amount of dividends back from my company. Now you see that went up. Dividends were about what, 566, and now they're 767. So it looks like our company's doing a little bit better. I'm getting a little bit more money from them. That just kind of lets me know that sure, I want to keep purchasing more shares in this company. So let's try to do that. And we're no longer in California. We're actually in Illinois. So I click on Illinois. It shows you right here all the companies in Illinois. I own my 1% stake in Hall Brothers. And let's try to make a deal with Austin Adams this time. We want to purchase all the shares that we can for our 14,300. Out of all these deals, I believe, you know, I'm a little bit of a risk taker. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one just so I pay the least amount of money. This one looks like it's going to go in around 2. Oh, no, it just barely passed. Great. So we purchased 9,000 shares at a 3% discount. Excellent. Let's take a look. We now own 1.91% stake in the company. And basically, you just keep advancing time. You keep purchasing more shares of your company. Keep giving out more loans. Keep purchasing more items that you could potentially sell for a profit. Let's take a look at that real quick. So now the candelabra went up a little bit. We could sell it for $12,000. Not enough profit for me. Let's take a look at the wine. We purchased it for 8.9. Somebody's willing to buy it for 9.5. Not worth my time. I'm going to hold on to it just for a little bit longer. Wait till I can get a little bit more cash. And then I'm going to either use that cash to purchase more things, or I'm going to use that cash to purchase more shares in the company. Anyways, guys, That's going to be it for episode 1 of Plutocracy. If you guys want to see more videos of Plutocracy on the channel, do me a favor, hit the like button. Let's try to get this video up to 200 likes. As always, comment in the comment section. Let me know if you have any tips, tricks, or advice as far as what you would like to see in episode 2 of Plutocracy. And I will see you guys on the next video. Until then, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.